Guys, if I could show you a way where you could get recurring business every single month as a real estate agent from the same people, would that be interesting to you? So when I was younger, I had a retail store. We sold koi pond supplies. And I had two types of customers there. I had wholesale customers and I had retail customers. And the wholesale customers would buy from me regularly. These are people that are actually out installing koi ponds themselves, much like we did. And they would buy all the equipment from me. And I had like 100 of these guys constantly buying stuff all the time. Same people, same stuff. And I kept up on industry standards and things like that, so I would know what they want before they even knew it. And then I had my retail customers that would come in a couple of times and then I'd never see them again. I mean, unless they needed something else, but it was hit and miss. What kind of client would you guys like to have? People that buy all the time or people that buy some of the time? That's what we're going to dive in today, and I'm going to show you exactly what I did to build my business so that you guys can do the same thing. So if that's interesting, stay tuned. Let's just jump right into it. All right, guys, so I'm going to reiterate a little bit here because I want you to fully understand what I'm saying. It sounds like a simple concept, but it's not as simple as it sounds, although it's as simple to set up as it sounds. So a lot of people look at investors as very difficult to deal with because they know exactly what they want. Think about this. You're out there showing houses to people all the time that have no idea what they want, and half the time they don't even stick around long enough to actually buy a house from you after you've shown them 50 of them. Investors, on the other hand, know specifically what they want. The problem usually happens when you bring them things they don't want. And then eventually they get tired of looking at those and they don't want to deal with you anymore. Guys, if you can learn exactly what an investor wants, if you can climb inside their brain, I can show you a way to make more money than you've ever made before and learn how to be an investor yourself. So let's start with the part where you actually learn how to deal with investors and work with them. So the most important thing that you need to do is listen to them. I think, and you know, I kind of talk for a living now, it seems like, but believe it or not, I'm actually a fairly good listener. And I spend most of my time listening to other people in conversations and things like that because I want to learn. I want to know how I can be of service because the more people I help, the more money I make. And the more money I make, the more people I can help. You can do the same thing, right? It's not money for money's sake, it's money so I can help more people, which in turn generates more money. It's great, works that way though. I want to show you how you guys can do the same thing with investors specifically. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't go after investors and retail customers. Like I like retail customers because it tends to be a higher ticket item and it's pretty fulfilling dealing with people that are buying a house. It's an emotional experience. I can't do it all the time. It's a bit much sometimes, but I still enjoy it partially. Last year, our biggest deal was like 3.2 million. So it's hard to give that kind of thing up, especially in our area. But today I want to specifically talk about how you can start working with investors so that you can add that to your repertoire and perhaps even become an investor yourself, because that would be the in-game goal, is to become an investor yourself so that you don't have to do this for the rest of your life unless you want to. So what I did is I started actually networking with investors. When I became a real estate agent, I wanted to be just a real estate agent. I wanted to work with people and find them their dream home. And I didn't have a lot of confidence in myself, so I started off with first-time buyers looking for condos. And I thought, well, that's, going to be kind of hard to fail at that. Guys, it's just as hard to sell a first-time buyer a condo as it is to sell fourth-time buyer a $3 million house. There's just as much paperwork and just as much BS to go through. There's just not as much money in it. So I quickly learned that. But I also learned that these people are only going to buy something maybe every 7 years. And then at the end of every sale, I had to go out and find another customer. I had to keep lining these people up. And it was really, really hard. I looked in my future and I went, okay, if I'm ever going to be able to do this and retire someday, I'm going to have to figure out a way to get recurring business so I am not stuck trying to find business all the time. I would rather service a customer than find a customer. Even though you have to learn how to do both to do what I'm saying, it becomes more of a service thing than a finding thing as time goes on. So what I did is I started going to investment clubs. I started going to places where investors hung out. I'd go to events, investor events, things like that, where people were in the room that I wanted to talk to, people that were investors. And I got to know them. And I started asking a lot of questions, probably annoyingly, about what they wanted, right? So we'd break off into these little groups and I would start talking about, okay, guys, I'm curious as to what you're looking for as far as a property. And I said, let's come up with maybe a scenario that everybody can relate to of what we're looking for. And so we started talking about that. And the more I let them talk and tell me what they were looking for, the more I learned. And I was taking notes during this time. I learned that most of them are area specific. Most of them have a budget. Most of them know what a rehab is going to cost them, but they need me to know how much that is so that I can find out if that house fits their criteria before I bring it to them. They need to know if that house is going to sell quick or if it's going to sit on the market for 4 months. They need to know a lot of information in order to make a decision. They need to have a lot of information in order for them to even want to look at a property. Think about this. These guys are having people inundate them with properties all day long. And most people don't do their homework, right? So we've got wholesalers that bring, and I do a lot of wholesaling. Not as much as I used to, but I've done a lot of wholesaling in the past. And wholesalers don't always give you all the information. Rents might be inflated. ARVs might be inflated. Definitely construction is deflated. You know, they're gonna put down a less number for construction. So it's hard to find people to give you honest answers in this business. But if you can be known for the honest opinions on a real estate, you guys can kill it working with investors. And investors know what they want. Now, if they're not seasoned investors, be careful because you may have to educate them a little bit. I'm not saying it's not worth working with new investors. It's just a little bit harder. Just kind of think about when you work with a first-time home buyer, it's kind of the same thing. Versus working with someone who's bought 4 houses in the past 20 years. They understand escrow and title and all the paperwork and things like that. They're not experts, but they have an idea of what they want. That's what it's like in the investment world. If you're dealing with a first-time investor, plan on learning along with them and plan on doing a lot of teaching too. Someone worked with me in the beginning when I was an investor too. And now I've flipped, a few hundred houses and I've done quite a bit of business. And it ended up working out pretty well for us. What do I say to an investor when I first meet them? Now, obviously, I was juicing these guys for information at these meetings, at these get-togethers. Wherever I could go where they were, I was talking probably more than I should, but it was mostly in the form of questions. And I probably annoyed them to no end. But I really wanted to get this information so that I could make a list of criteria that most investors were looking for. Then I could take that list of criteria and send it to my investors and say, look, guys, take 10 minutes to fill this out, and I will only bring you properties that fit your criteria. I will not waste your time. If you don't like it, it's because you don't like it. It's not because it doesn't fit your criteria. That's one thing I can guarantee you. And once I got that across to them and was able to send them a couple of deals that fit their criteria, then they were always opening my emails. Now, as an agent that brings houses to people, the worst sin that you can commit is just simply sending them a property that looks good, right? As an investor, I still, like I said, I change hats all the time. So today, right this minute, I'm going to be an investor. This is my investor hat. And I get emails every day about deals. And most of them aren't deals. Most of them are just simply listings or simply a house that looks like it might be a good deal even though it's not on the market. Total waste of my time. I do not have time to go through all of those. I wish I did because I'm sure there's deals there, but I don't have time for it. What I need is a deal that fits my specific criteria that they send me that I can open up and within 1 minute I can see whether it actually is worth my time to actually look up, right? So I need to have some certain numbers in there. I need to have certain descriptions. I need to have information in there so I can make a quick decision as to whether it's worth my time to actually spend time on that or send it off to someone in my office to look at it. And I don't very often get that, but when I do, I keep buying from those people. So when I was first working with investors, I came up with a list of criteria that I needed to know so that I could help them make a quick decision as to whether the house that I bring them works or not. And we figured it out. We solved the mystery of what investors are looking for. Because I know a lot of you have probably dealt with investors before and got pissed off because like they never buy anything. It's because you're not bringing them the right properties. And if you're bringing them the right properties and they're not buying them, they're not investors. They're beginner investors, or they're investors that can't make decisions. You need people that can make decisions. And over time, you will find them. It doesn't take that long. There's investors everywhere, and they're all looking for deals. So guys, if you're interested in getting more business as a real estate agent, this is the path. You do not have to door knock. You do not have to cold call. You do not have to send out postcards. You don't have to do any of that. You simply have to go out and network with people. You have to get relationships established with people that are looking for what you're selling. All right, guys? So I hope you find that helpful. If you're interested in learning more about that, I have something that Justin and I put together. It's called How to 3X Your Income Using This One Simple Technique. And it actually goes into how to finding your first 5 investors. And I go through everything, guys. I'm not holding anything back from you. And the price on this is 0. Why am I doing that, guys? Because I want you to succeed. I want you to succeed. This business is very difficult. And if you find something that works, it's fun to share with other people. Is it going to hurt me? No, guys. I've already got my client list. It's not going to hurt me at all. So if you guys are interested in getting that for free, click the link down below, sign up. We'll send it to you, 0 cost, and you will learn how to get your first 5 investors. You'll learn how to talk to them. You'll learn what to look for as far as what they need, guys, and you will make money if you put this into practice. Guaranteed you'll make money if you put it into practice. So guys, I hope you download that. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and sign up for notifications so that when we drop a video, you'll be the first to know. Don't sign off right now. Go down and click that link and sign up for this. Guarantee it will change the way you look at investors. It's only going to take you about an hour to get through it, but you will learn a ton. It'll be worth every single second of your time. So go down and do that right now. Click on that link below. I'll talk to you guys later. See you next time.